because when Malcolm came back on that last trip, he had a meeting at Ruby Dee's brother's house, Tom, out on Long Island. And at this meeting, all of the civil rights leaders, all of the primary organizations were present, except Dr. King, but Doc sent the representative. And they came up with a tentative agreement that they were going forward in some sort of working relationship between the OAU and these movements in terms of the struggle in America. That frightened Hoover, because the last thing Hoover wanted was a Malcolm running around the South with Dr. King in them. Fannie Lou Hamer had invited him to come and speak at her place in Mississippi 2 weeks following the date that he was assassinated. Other people, he had been to Selma shortly before that. And, when Doc King was in jail, and he made it very clear to them, y'all better deal with him, because if you have to deal with me, you're going to have another problem. So the last thing they wanted was the fusion of the nationalist movement with the civil rights movement, with the articulator being a Malcolm X. So the feds were irritated and afraid on the home front, and they were irritated and afraid on the international front, because he's meeting with the Kwame Nkrumah, who is running Ghana and is not an American friend. He's meeting with Jomo Kenyatta, the Mau Mau leader in Kenya. He's meeting with Ezekwe, the leader of Nigeria. He's meeting with Ahmed Ben Bella, who was one of the leaders of the Algerian Revolution. And so they were saying, what the hell is going on? How is this guy able to create these relationships? And they were afraid of those relationships fusing with the African American movement in this country, especially when he came back and tried to find some serious partnership with the civil rights movement. Even until Jimmy Carter, the fundamental policy of America is that there should be no economic, political, and cultural relationship between black Americans and black Africans. And Zbigniew Brzezinski, who was the national security advisor under Carter, wrote a white paper on the subject and was very clear and spelled it out, that it was a policy of the United States of America to make sure that African Americans and Africans never unite politically, economically, or culturally.